Hi everybody and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel. My name is Paul. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Interesting news from Callum Wilson. He's broken his silence on his plans, or what he thinks are going to be the plans for the summer. We've got some transfer news. Newcastle United interested possibly in a Spanish international defender, and Arsenal once again asking ridiculous prices for one of their players who Newcastle continually be linked with for several months now. But we'll start off with Callum Wilson. Now, very interesting quotes from the player himself, because obviously everything has stayed very quiet up until now, certainly while Callum's been out injured and now he's back. He scored again on Saturday. The manager then comes out and says that he would love to keep Callum Wilson here next season. Now, for me, that was an important statement from Eddie Howe, but do we take it with a pinch of salt? Because obviously he's not going to come out and say, yeah, I'm not bothered what happens with Callum Wilson. I think he's going to say that maybe he wants him around next season just to pacify the fans, the players, everybody like that. But you never know what's really going to happen and what sort of offers may come in for Callum Wilson in the summer, because I would expect there'll be a few. You know, there was some in January. He wasn't allowed to leave given the situation with our strikers, which is perfectly understandable from the football club's point of view. But media reports have since said that Callum Wilson wasn't happy about that and not being able to go on to pastures new. But Callum himself has come out and said that he is concentrating now on the final 3 games of the season. And we all know as fans of Newcastle United, this is massive to the club. To finish possibly 6th, even 5th, given Tottenham's downfall at the moment, would be incredible given the season we've had with injuries and suspensions, etc. And losing games that maybe we thought we shouldn't have lost. It's been a real roller coaster of a season, as it normally is with Newcastle United, by the way. It's never straightforward. But given the chance that if we win these 3 games, it's all in our own hands to finish at least 6th and be in Europe next season, which I think is a fantastic achievement given what's happened. But Callum has said that he is just concentrating on these 3 games. He didn't say anything about England or the European Championships in the summer. He said he'd go away, but he is contracted to Newcastle United, therefore he will be back for pre-season. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about that quote, but it didn't say to me, yes, I'm eager to come back, or I'm really wanting to stay at Newcastle. None of that was said. It was just a simple statement saying, I'm contracted to Newcastle United, therefore I will be back in pre-season. So I'm not sure. I mean, what do you make of that, guys? Because it's kind of not giving me the vibes, really. And I know it's just an interview and it could have been taken out of context, obviously, and written in a different way. But the fact that there wasn't anything said about, yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming back next season, coming back healthy and fit and raring to go again. None of that was said. It's just a simple statement about him being contracted to us. So that maybe says to me that Callum will probably be expecting a few offers for him in the summer. And therefore, if he's no longer contracted to Newcastle United, he will have gone. We do know there's clubs interested in him, not just in the Premier League, but across Europe as well. And a lot of fans really have seen his performances since he's come back from injury and said, yeah, you know, it looks like Callum may have a year left in him. So I think Newcastle United fans are very much on the fence as to what to do with Callum Wilson. Obviously, it's down to the manager and the hierarchy at Newcastle if any offers do come in for him in the summer. But let me know. Do you think he's worth another season? Or are you a bit like me and think, yeah, he's brilliant when he's on form and he's fit, but we just can't trust him to stay fit enough? And if the fact is Newcastle United go out and get another striker in the summer, that may knock Callum Wilson down to 3rd choice. And I don't think that's where Callum Wilson wants to be at his stage in his career. He wants to be playing regular football. There's no doubt about that. He stated that himself. But he might not get that at Newcastle United, given that we will probably be looking to bring in another striker in the summer. I'd be astounded if we didn't, given the problems we've had with only having 2 strikers this season. Sometimes Isak and Wilson have been out injured at the same time. So it's a very interesting statement from me, from Callum. It doesn't fill me with lots of positivity that he wants to stay. But, you know, we saw the reports in January saying he was disappointed that he wasn't allowed to leave then. So, yeah, he's contracted to Newcastle, therefore he'll turn up for pre-season training. But I expect there'll be some offers for him in the summer. But it's up to Newcastle United whether they want to get rid of him, of course. Now, onto a bit of transfer news. Spanish international defender Mario Hermoso, currently at Atletico Madrid, has confirmed that he is leaving the club in the summer. He won't be extending his contract at the Spanish club, which has alerted quite a lot of teams to his availability. Now, he is 28-year-old. He's a Spanish international defender and a very, very good player. And given that Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus, Milan, and Aston Villa, they're all interested in him. So that just says how good this player is. If you've got 4 teams such as the European giants like Juventus and Milan and the 2 Spanish giants looking at you, you've got to say to yourself, wow, this guy is an absolute talent. Now, again, because he'd be a free agent, we could offer him a bigger signing on fee, decent wages, and not have to worry about paying multi-million pounds worth of transfer fees to Atletico Madrid because he's leaving. So again, it would definitely benefit for FFP. And this is what the report keeps saying. Every single transfer report, guys, that I read or I get information on is always mentioning FFP now, especially when it comes to players' contracts running down, coming to an end. But Hermoso is very, very highly thought of, and he would be an excellent signing. Let's be honest, he'd be a fabulous signing. Centre-back is a position that we certainly need to look at in the summer. I know that there is reports of a couple of free agents coming in, but they did say on the bottom of the report that if Lloyd Kelly does decide to sign for Newcastle, Newcastle will drop their interest in Hermoso. So make of that what you will, because this is a Spanish international. Lloyd Kelly obviously is a bit younger, but not that much. So, you know, Eddie Howe is a big fan, obviously, of Lloyd Kelly, but Hermoso or Kelly, I'd take Hermoso every day of the week. But the fact that the Spanish giants, Italian giants are all looking at him as well, that may indicate that Newcastle United aren't confident in themselves that they're going to get the player, because obviously with Barcelona and Real Madrid knocking on the door, if he wants to stay in Spain, then he has that option. And given the wages that Barcelona and certainly Real Madrid can pay, I know Barcelona's finances aren't great, but Real Madrid can pay bucket loads more than we can. So you'd expect him also to probably sign for a Spanish side. But it's an interesting one. I was very interested when it said at the bottom about Lloyd Kelly, because it looks, according to reports, as if Lloyd Kelly has chosen to move to Newcastle. But again, there's nothing concrete in that. So we just have to wait and see, guys, as far as that one goes. Now, as I said at the start, Arsenal reacting again with ridiculous transfer values for their players. Now, one player that has been linked with Newcastle United for several months now is Zinchenko. For me, I don't see the point in this. You know, when the rumours started coming around a few months back, I thought, yeah, maybe a tidy player for Newcastle. But the longer time's gone on, he's playing very little football because Tommy Ashley was certainly taking over the left-back position at Arsenal and is made that position his own. So Zinchenko's not getting a lot of football. But apparently Newcastle United is still showing an interest. And Arsenal have apparently valued him at £40 million. 40. I mean, listen, Zinchenko is a decent player. He's not great, right? He's not great. I may have been over the top when these rumours first started about Zinchenko and thought, yeah, he's a really talented player. But he's not. He's not one of the greats in the Premier League at fullback. I know he can play midfield as well, but for me, 40 million quid, I don't know what planet Arsenal are on. I really don't. And, you know, the fact that they keep valuing our players, such as Bruno and Isak. I mean, there was one report said that they're going to try and get Bruno and Isak for 70 million. Then there was one saying they were going to get the pair of them for 150 million pounds. 150 million pounds will not buy you Isak's right toenail. So these valuations that Arsenal and their fans keep coming up with is absolutely bizarre for me. I mean, Zinchenko's 27-year-old as well. So he's not exactly, you know, a 22, 23-year-old spring chicken. He's been around a while, of course, with Man City and Arsenal. But to value him at 40 million quid, Newcastle will not pay that. I mean, look, you've got to take into regards FFP as well. There's no way they'll pay that, especially if they're looking at other positions which they really need to fill. Left back, for me, is probably not an urgent position to fill if Lloyd Kelly comes in on a free, because he can play centre-back and left-back, so can Dan Burn, and Lewis Hall, quite frankly, should be making that position his own next season. So it's not a position for me that I think we should be challenging for, and we don't need Zinchenko. I think there's better players available. There's better players around Europe for much cheaper prices as well. So for me, a big fat 0 to Arsenal. Get lost with your 40 million quid valuation of Zinchenko. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed the video, as usual, give it the thumbs up. Very important to the channel that we keep those coming in, of course. And if you are new and you like what you see, please come and be part of this fabulous community by hitting that subscribe button. Completely free to do so, but make sure you hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we upload videos such as this one, or we schedule in all our live shows. But that's it for now. Have a fantastic rest of your bank holiday, guys, and we'll see you soon. Take care.